good morning, good evening, whatever time of day you're watching it. I'm very glad that you are here. Today, I want to talk to you about why Jesus is true. What is the evidence for God's existence? What is the evidence that Jesus is God? What is the evidence that the Bible is 100% true and accurate? So, first, Jesus was in fact a real person. Many will say, well, he wasn't. He was. Historically, there's more evidence for Jesus' existence than even George Washington. The second thing, Jesus' disciples witnessed Jesus and then preached to many people, many thousands of people. In fact, they were brutally persecuted, as in tortured, and then many were killed, except for, I believe, John. So why would you die for something that you made up? Well, you wouldn't die for a lie. That's completely not what you lie for. See, I do not believe you should lie, but when you do lie, why do you lie? Because you're trying to get out of something. Why would you lie to get you into a worse situation? You wouldn't. Also, even why would they include things like and the disciples had no idea what Jesus meant? Why would the disciples be like, we were not smart? If you're writing your own book, if you're just making this up by yourself, you're not going to be like, and we had no idea what we were doing, and he called me Satan. Like, you wouldn't write these things to make people look down on yourself unless it was the truth. Also, including witnesses, over 500 people witnessed Jesus after he died. Now, the evidence for the Bible is it's 66 different books. It was written by 40 different authors in 3 different languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, and it took over 1,500 years to write. And yet it has no contradictions. It completely lines up. It's a complete story. The book is so perfectly written that the best authors, the best writers would not be able to write a book with so perfect, and it just fits together perfectly. In fact, the Bible has over 63,779 different cross references, meaning it says something here and it says something again somewhere else. And the what's amazing is those people never even met each other. In fact, you can say, oh, well, maybe it's because they read. No, because how would Paul say the same thing John said when they talked to each other for like maybe a day, and then 40 years later they both wrote a letter and they both said the same thing? It's because of God. They couldn't just communicate with each other like, okay, we're gonna write this, we're gonna write that. No, they both heard from God and wrote the same thing with the same message because it's the same truth, it's the same spirit. And another thing is, the Bible has so many prophecies. In fact, it has over 300 prophecies written years, hundreds of years before Jesus was even born. Jesus fulfilled over 300 prophecies, hundreds of years, that were written hundreds of years before he was even born. The chances of that are immensely small. That would be like you throwing like a pencil that was like incredibly just like a long stick basically, and it just landing perfectly on a hard surface. It's not going to happen. In fact, I can't even get this pencil to stay up. It would be impossible. You cannot do it unless this was an accurate prophecy. It was an accurate message from God that then God fulfilled. Another really important, this is one of my favorite reasonings for God, is other religions point to Jesus as a way. So what do you have? You have the Mormons who believe he was conceived by God and he was a good teacher. You have the new spiritualists who say Jesus had a Christ-like conscience, that he found in his inner self. You have Islam that says he was a prophet. You have the Jews who say he was a great teacher. So you have all these religions pointing to Jesus, saying, "Oh yeah, this is a way. This is a great teacher. This is a great guy." What did Jesus say? "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." He said, "I am." Before Abraham was, I am. He said, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." So, with all this evidence pointing towards Jesus, why do so many still not believe it? Because it takes faith. See, one important thing that we need to stand on is faith. So, yes, there's evidence for God. Yes, there's evidence for Jesus. In the Bible, it says, people who do not believe in God are foolish because the earth provides signs that there is a creator, that there is someone who made the universe. In fact, if you walked outside and you saw a watch laying on the ground, you wouldn't be like, "Ah, a bunch of atoms came together and just happened to create a watch." That will never happen. The chances of that are zero. It does not happen because you need a creator. You need something to create it. Now, I hear a lot, well, who created God? Where did he come from? And why can we not understand him? It's because he created us. The same way, if you were to create a computer, the people in the computer game, they would not understand who you are because they're in the computer game. They're limited to their space. God is not limited because he is. It says his name is Yahweh, which means to be. He exists. That is his role. He exists. He is almighty. He is all powerful. He is all knowing. He is all just. He is all righteous. He is all loving. So he never had a beginning. In fact, it says God created time, space, and matter. And you cannot have one of those three. Those three had to exist at the exact same time. Because if you had time and space but no matter, what are you putting there? If you had matter and time but no space, where are you putting it? If you had matter and space but no time, when do you put it? These three things have to exist at the exact same time. And it answers clearly in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, which says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." He created time, space, and matter simultaneously. So, with all of that, how can you use this? How can you use this in your walk with God? It's because now you have a reason. See, we don't want to just blindly follow something. We want to try to understand it. Obviously, we can never fully understand how good and how gracious God is, but beginning to understand who God is, who his character is, we can see this in 1, the Bible, 2, creation. So there's multiple ways you can see, okay, what type of God it is. So if you look outside, you can see it's beautiful. So God must be a master. He must be someone who creates beauty. We can see that he created things with persons. He created things to be personal because God is a personal God. He wants a relationship with you. That's why he died on the cross, so he can be with you. Because sin created a separation. And God said, "I don't want that separation. I want to be with you." So he died for us to break that separation because he cannot be near sin. So he became sin so that he took our sin on the cross. So now that we are no longer in bondage of sin, so that we can be with God, that we can have a relationship with God. So that's all the time I have for today. But thank you for watching. I hope this grows your faith, maybe grows your understanding in God, and have a wonderful rest of your day.